My name is Chester the Cat. You may be asking yourself, how is it that I can write and type? Well, the easy answer is that I am gifted and talented to the degree I could make Albert Einstein look stupid. Do I hear you gasp in horror? Well, you get the gist. I am smart. Believe it or not, but I am the head of a small covert group of cats with special powers that only I can unlock. I also have superpowers. Think of me as a real-life feline superhero, if you will. Think of a feline Jason Bourne, perhaps. Although the truth is I come from a long line of royal blood, dating back to the human Queen Cleopatra's leopard, Arrow. Would you believe I discovered my superpowers as a mere kitten when sneaking out to Mum's garden to chase a bird, and instead ate some special catnip that activated my gifts. Gifts, plural. Among my numerous gifts is a bionic left paw. I also have the ability to read and write, read minds and impersonate humans. Nifty, hey? It sure does come in handy. I live in sunny South Australia with my family, who you'll hear all about in this volume. I'm 9 years old as I write this, sitting on my balcony and watching humans from my townhouse. It is imperative that I don't reveal my exact location, because now that I've become quite famous in Australia, I don't want to attract any she-cat stalkers. The price of fame, coupled with being a single and handsome cat, can be hard. But my life wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to have purpose. For example, looking after my family is very important to me, and being proficient at, well, everything. I'm writing this book just for you, my extended cat family everywhere. I want to demonstrate that you too can have a successful life in just 7 easy steps. I have so much wisdom, guidance, and expertise it almost feels like a burden to keep all that knowledge to myself without passing it on, so I simply must share my teachings with the world. Human cat lovers would also be well advised to read my book. Cats and cat lovers of the world, this volume is my gift to you. But I also offer one-on-one coaching and the opportunity for my feline brothers and sisters to enroll in Chester's School of the Feline Arts, just in case you were interested. My backstory. Before I reveal my 7 steps to a meowingly good life, let me tell you more about myself. Apart from the obvious, that I'm exceedingly handsome, and I think I've mentioned single, right, ladies? You may wish to check out my biography and photo in the back of the book at this point. My coat is a gleaming gold and black, and is well maintained by my loving human mother. I refer to her as Mum, except when I'm angry, and then she is Mother. I have long claws that I refuse to be cut. They make Freddy Krueger's nails look like child's play. In fact, years ago, Mum and the Evil Vet, read Steps 3, Case Study on Dr. Evil, did learn that I can turn into Freddy Krueger in an instant. Nowadays, they can only cut my nails when I'm medically sedated. True story. However, the vet doctors and nurses generally require sedation and even time off after I visit them. No exaggeration here. Just ask about 10 vets in South Australia. They'll provide a sturdy reference for me. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Let's go back to my early life story. Goodness, the beginnings to life were not easy for me. Let's rewind 9 years to when I was fathered by a feral street-fighting cat called Charlie. He was strong, fine-looking, and had fathered quite a few other kittens. In fact, if you see any other handsome male tabby cats, you just never know. They may be related to me. Though beware, they are not me. There is only one me. I am Chester the Cat. I certainly would not want you fooled by any imitation knockoffs pretending to be me. Anyway, Charlie was like a snake charmer, and made my feline mother, Martha, believe she was the only she-cat for him. The word on the street is that Martha loved Charlie, and thought there would be a future for all of us as a family. Apparently, she dreamed of a loving family, with humans to worship us in a nice and warm, loving home, with an endless supply of premium fish and fresh filtered water. For the 5 of us kittens, though, Bob, Melody, Cheetah, Ivy, and me, Chester the Cat, life would have been hard if we stayed with that cat hag Martha, who gave birth to us. Such a worthless wretch. I now refer to Martha as Hag Features, as she had the good sense to bring me into the world, but make no mistake, she is no mother. It takes more than biology to make a mother. In the early days, I trusted and loved her and called her Mama Martha. But what a vacuous she-cat my biological mother was. She didn't know the meaning of true love. We were just 17 days old when she left us alone to fend for ourselves. Father Charlie had abandoned her for another she-cat in the western suburbs, as he had another family there. Well, night after night passed by, but he didn't return home, so Hag Features left us to go looking for him, to drag him back to our family, so she says. She chose to chase after a man-cat who had not shown even an ounce of love, respect, or kindness to his own family. She left us scared and alone in the roughest part of South Australia to perish at 17 days old. Yes, you heard that correctly. Hag Features left us in a cardboard box that didn't provide much shelter from the rain. We lived in a part of Australia where the weather was temperamental and could change in an instant from rain to extreme heat. Days of 46 degrees Celsius were not uncommon, and even many dogs had died from being locked in hot cars without any water. We were teeny-weeny little kittens, barely 2.5 weeks old, 5 brothers and sisters cuddling up together for warmth. We had no food or water, we only had each other. We didn't know how to defend ourselves or how to survive. But even then I was a leader and took charge, looking after the others. They wanted to play with mice instead of eating them. Idiots! Hello, we needed protein. Something did have to change, though, as it was a dangerous world. I learned a lesson back then not to be so trusting of humans. Nowadays, I used advanced screening and superintelligence skills to assess whether they are a good human. You may even be thinking, what makes a good human, Chester? Read on, dear reader. Read on. Listen, and you will find out. A man walking nearby heard our cries, and my brothers and sisters thought we would be saved. I always cried out the loudest, and still do. Fortunately, now that I have my Freddy Krueger claws, another one of my gifts, my cries will never go unnoticed again. This man spoke to us kindly at first. He said he was taking us somewhere where we would be happy. The merciless lout then took the box and put it behind the wheel of a car. My little sister Melody was sure that he was taking us home. I knew, deep in my heart, he was going to leave us to die. What sort of a cruel and hideous beast would do that to 5 tiny kittens, crying and hungry and only wanting love and food? Huh? You tell me. Gosh, little Melody was always my favorite sibling, and it truly broke my heart when I was separated from her. It's just sometimes in life you must save yourself to save others. Fate did intervene on that terrible day, though, and we were saved. This kind woman heard me crying and growling and found us in our tiny box on the ground, hidden behind the wheel of a big car. We were so close to being squashed forever. The woman eventually became my Aunt Harriet, or Harry, as I call her. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Upon finding us in the box, she picked me up and said, "Gosh, look at you poor little mites. Thank goodness your brother here cried so I could hear you. You were very close to being squished. Let me take you home and get you warm and fed." This was my first introduction to human love. I couldn't even see at this stage, being only 17 days old. But I intuitively knew Aunt Harriet was the channel to a big and happy life for me. She spoke to us in soothing tones, and the next we knew we were in a warm car that took us east, apparently. We stayed with Harry in a cat share house. She was mother to 4 cats. We couldn't even open our eyes to see yet, and we didn't know how to eat on our own. She bottle-fed us, bathed us, and made us feel really loved. I will always have a special place in my heart for Aunt Harry. One of my sisters, Ivy, thought my willy was a teat, though, and at barely 3 weeks old, I got an infected willy. But even back then, I had the makings of a great cat. The vet who had to treat me for this infection quivered at 3-week-old me and said I was quite feral. Unfortunately, at this time, my teeth and nails were still developing, so I could not shred or bite him. How dare he call me feral? I thought he looked feral and derelict. Don't worry, he immediately went on my Freddy list, which you will delight in reading about later. As time went by, I did keep thinking about Hag Features, though. How could she just leave her 5 kittens, so young? We didn't have anyone to teach us cat life skills. It still makes my fur crawl when I think about how close we came to dying.